What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old self-conscious humor, man. I saw your eyes look to the camera as you were talking. Yeah, you can't help it. Right?
Can't help it. I mean, the camera is there.
Yeah,
we gotta respect
make love,
it, lah.
Make love to the camera.
Make love to the camera. And why are you highlighting the camera specifically, Terrence?
Because today is a new chapter in Yalabat history where we are moving on to make it a visual feast for everyone involved.
A visual feast indeed. Because, I mean, previously when we've had guests in the studio, you do see the videos on YouTube. The ones that Terrence and I do, sometimes we do it remote. But now we're gonna make it a point to record in studio. So here I am looking at Terrence in the face.
And with the camera also.
In the flesh, yeah.
But this is our version of back to the office, lah. You know.
Correct.
We always ask people, oh, so how many days a week you go back to office? Now we also go back to office.
Yeah. So all the people who think, oh, look at these two people just recording a podcast from their bedrooms. No, man. No. This is legit.
Fucking took a lot of effort to get this together, to get this face together, man. To get this face together.
Tristen is with us in the corner as well. So yeah, it's something new. We're excited. When you're listening to this, you can also watch it on YouTube to see our reactions. In our studio, which we have DIY'd the hell out of. And we're excited, man. Excited.
And same thing. I mean, in that same vein, we're also excited about new chapter for Yalabat in the sense that what is the one thing we wanted to plug?
The fact that if you've been listening for a while, you know we've been doing Yalabat for a long time. We are reaching our 400th episode. The next episode. We have an animated TV series in the works, a scripted podcast also in the works, and we have Folklory, which is growing very healthily. Which means that the three of us, Terrence, Tristen, and I, are pretty swamped, and we are looking for people to join our team. And we're super excited to be able to say that because there's a lot of stuff that we're working on that we're very excited about. And what are the roles that we are thinking, Terrence?
We definitely need someone to help us with social media. I think that's one part of our arsenal that's missing. I think business development, as always. I think everyone needs a business development person.
Yeah, just in general. In their own life also.
In your life, yeah.
Everybody needs business development.
Yeah. And what's the last role?
Project management.
Project management, yeah. I think because we've got a bunch of productions going on, TV productions, audio drama productions. I mean, Yalabat, this production itself. So there's a lot of different projects that we're working on at the same time. So if you want to get your feet wet in the media industry, I wouldn't say production, but media industry, right? Where you get a lot of experience across a lot of different platforms. This is the role for you.
Yeah, and also startups, man. You know, you go get a lot of juice for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You want your LinkedIn juice. And I mean, we have like 3 areas that we need help with. If you're one kind of superstar that can do all 3, sure. If there's a particular role that you're interested in, sure, we'd love to chat. So what, they can email us?
DM us.
DM us on Instagram for the Ministry of Funny Instagram, Yalabat Instagram. You can email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or just find some way to reach us. If you can't reach us, then maybe this role's not for you. And we do have like more detailed job descriptions and all, but now we just want someone who's hungry as fuck and excited to do cool shit. And I mean, Tristen joined us the last time we did a call for interns. Right. And now hopefully we can get someone else or some other people to join our team.
Just to tarik a bit, we don't want you. We hope that you don't stay hungry after you join us, I think that's as in you will be fed, as in that's what I'm trying to say, because I think the terms hungry as fuck.
As fuck.
It's that Gary V. Oh, you're not hungry enough, that kind of thing, which I think, we can pair back a little bit.
Hearing your bad jokes in person is a whole new experience. No?
I know, it's real time. You can't hide from it anymore. Sorry, what are you saying? I didn't hear you. Sorry. Repeat again. Same say, vice versa. Hey, touche. Same thing, having you here and having all me cringing every time you're like, oh yeah, whoa, what's up, y'all? And I'm like, now you can see the full thing already.
Exactly, man. Cool. Okay, so that was the intro, the plug. And I mean, we got a exciting podcast, lah.
Yeah.
Exciting, which is not a new topic per se.
It's not a new topic.
but a lot of new developments.
New developments, yeah.
Yeah.
You would think that we would have ridden out the storm by now, but no, man. It's only gotten stormier, if anything. Right? And what is this big controversy?
I mean, it's something that we covered on a previous podcast that started off just with a few blog posts by an opposition party member. And now it is a full-on, I think it's everywhere to the point that everybody knows about it now.
Yeah.
I remember last week when we were telling people, we were like, oh, you heard of the Ridout thing?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, well, what Ridout?
Yeah.
And it is the curious case of two black and white bungalows that are rented by Minister Shanmugam and Minister Vivian Balakrishnan that has now escalated into mainstream consciousness. Because, I mean, just going back early May was when Kenneth Jayaratnam first posted a series of blog posts. And then, let's see, a short while after, the SLA issued a statement providing timeline and circumstances of how Shanmugam and Vivian rented the properties. And then the Workers' Party, Pritam Singh, he filed parliamentary questions because the SLA notice did say that it will be answered in Parliament. And since then, PM Lee himself has asked for a review to be done. And apparently, Shanmugam and Vivian spoke to him to request for a review. And it has been revealed that Teo Chee Hen will be spearheading the review.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been a lot of chatter. There were interviews done with Shanmugam on 23rd March at Chongpang. Vivian Balakrishnan at the doorstep of the Ministry of Communications and Information, also on the same day.
Yeah.
Basically getting excerpts from them.
Yeah.
So, a lot has happened. I think the parliamentary session seems so far away, man. But how has your thoughts about this evolved, Terence, since we first covered this?
I spent the last week just doing, dipstick kind of surveys, talking to everyone, if I can. Not everyone, talking to people I've bumped into about this issue, to get their sense, get a sensing of what's the feel on the ground that people are feeling about this issue. Because I think probably the most quotable quote I got out of it was that someone who just told me that it's a very small nothing that could turn into a very big nothing. Yeah.
Small nothing that could turn into a big nothing.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't a big something?
That's the thing, you see. So there is what I've discovered talking to people is that a lot of people are thinking that it's a small nothing. At least the people that I've done this dipstick survey with. But they do see the potential for it to spiral into something bigger. But what about you? What has changed in the past week for you that made this your number one topic to talk about?
I mean, first of all, that it has blown up. I think now past blown up threshold, right? Not yet.
What do you mean blown up?
Like the fact that it's all over the news.
Okay, yes, it's all over the news.
Right.
Everyone's discussing it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about it. Yeah.
Because last week it was literally a few blog posts by Kenneth Jayaratnam, who is not even one of the most prominent opposition MPs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He just came out with a few blog posts, and I think at that point when we first covered it, I was like, okay, how much steam will this get? Then SLA issued that it'd be in Parliament. And then you kind of knew, okay, we're on the cusp of this blowing up. So it did. And then same thing, just getting thoughts from different people, trying to read up online now that it's a bit more mainstream, and it is polarizing, man.
Yeah. Actually, what has stood out to you in what you've read the past week? Because I think we can go through every one of them, or we can just do sort of a sensing based on what we've been reading, right? So,
yeah. I mean, on one hand, you get commenters like Calvin Cheng, who is voicing out a lot of things that people seem to agree with, in the sense that literally on his post, what he's kind of said was that, if we want the best minds in government, we do pay them well. And if we pay them well, what is wrong if they spend it the way they want? And also, why are we automatically assuming that they did not follow due processes and they're taking advantage of the system? And it's one of those things that it would deter future talented individuals from entering politics, because this is literally a witch hunt. And given the state of the world right now, when there's so much shit happening, this is another house, another two houses is becoming a parliamentary issue.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So then,
We're moving our sites from Oxley Road to Ridout Road.
what the fuck, man? Like, what the hell? Is like Property Lim Brothers soon going to be part of parliament also, man?
Yeah.
Because the like his point is that these people have been doxxed, their private lives have been like interrupted, and it's gonna push people away from politics, and that's not good. And a lot of people on his comments are echoing that, lah.
Yeah.
Then you also, like what you said, I get what you mean by saying this is a small nothing that could become a big nothing, because there's also one side of like, I mean, these SLA, we all know ministers get paid decently well, so chances are they have their own houses. If they are renting out their houses to cover this rent,
Yeah.
what's wrong with that?
Yeah. That's
What's
right.
wrong with that? And
Yeah.
it becomes like, oh, actually, like, what is wrong with that?
Yeah.
And then, of course, then you get the fun conspiracy theories that, you know, there's something happening at Ridout. I mean, okay, this is my conspiracy theory, that they're planning like some space mission and Ridout will be the launch pad for this super secret rocket that Minister Shan and Vivian Balakrishnan are overseeing.
Yeah. That's one of the mildest conspiracy theories that I've heard already.
That's true, that's true.
I think you and I, we've met people who have given us even crazier conspiracy theories, which I hard to even talk
Shouldn't
about.
Say,
Shouldn't say.
Yeah, shouldn't say.
But the one thing that was interesting this week was that two of the very prominent opposition voices that came forward earlier in the week were Lee Hsien Yang, right, the other Lee, and Lim Tian. Lim Tian came out, and they were basically, the crux of what they were saying, they were, you know, obviously rehashing some of those things that were said before, but they also made a good point that SLA's statement was woefully inadequate, in the sense that because the SLA statement literally says, oh, go and, you know, wait till July until in Parliament, then there'll be more details revealed. Kind of, I think to a point that we had discussed the last time, was that it kind of reduces, it makes SLA look less independent from ministerial oversight, right? Because like, how is SLA privy to the fact that Shanmugam had a conversation with a senior cabinet colleague? Why is it that SLA knows that? You know, that means the minister must have had a conversation with someone at SLA, and therefore from there you would assume that the minister understands what is going on in the SLA statement, which was what I think we discussed, was that SLA statement doesn't feel like it's its own independent statement. It feels like it was done in concert with the minister, whether Minister Shanmugam or what, but in consultation with him. Of course, you could argue that of course, I mean, he's in charge of that ministry, right? But that's the whole issue here, the sense of is there a real independence between what SLA is doing? Was there an arm's length transaction and everything? You know, and that bleeds into this review that was ordered by Lee Hsien Loong, right?
Yeah.
An independent review of everything.
First of all, like Lee Hsien Loong, he was diagnosed with COVID when?
Just a few days ago,
Yeah, so can you imagine Shanmugam and Vivian Balakrishnan going to, hey, bro, I know you got COVID, but we really think there should be a review.
He's like, fucking hell, I'm a senior citizen. I got COVID for the first time. I can't even have a fucking 14-day quarantine to rest. I got to deal with this shit.
Must issue press release, must issue press statement.
Put together committee.
That's right. Because literally 2 days ago, it was announced that PM Lee was diagnosed, right?
With COVID. For the first time. Wow.
For the first time.
Amazing. We already I don't know, I've already had 2 cycles. You?
Yeah, one.
One that
I know of. One
that you know of.
So then the second thing is, so what I find surprising is that this is just causing more people to chat, because another thing about the committee, you mentioned the fact that Teo Chee Hean is going to conduct it. I mean, already with the accusations that people are putting for Minister Shan, especially, like SLA falls under Ministry of Law, falls under him. Is there a conflict of interest? And you want a commission or committee to investigate the conflict of interest, then you get a PAP minister, very senior minister, who has been working with Vivian Balakrishnan and Shanmugam and Lee Hsien Loong for so long.
Yeah.
Just feels like, is that, again, like the optics? How does that make sense?
But what's the alternative then? What's the alternative? Get what? Pritam Singh to chair that.
I know Lim Tian volunteered that he will be part of the committee. But just feels like the only reason that I can see is because I think Minister Teo was also chairing the committee examining the options for 38 Oxley Road. So maybe he's the property expert. He's the property Lim brother in Parliament.
He's the one that knows. He's the one that, hey, everyone, we're looking at this property at 26 Ridout Road today. Come, follow me. He's that guy, right?
Exactly. You see, this used to be trees here, but now it's a converted car park.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's just giving so much room for people to speculate.
Yeah, which is quite kind of strange, right? I think that because if the biggest issue here is about the independence and the conflict of interest, right? To get away from, to at least to make people feel at ease about that. I think whatever reviews or whatever you choose to do should try to appear as independent as possible.
Yeah.
So in this case, like, even the announcement of that committee already has everyone, and on the internet, everyone's saying own self review, own self.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and somewhat this one, like, I don't think there's a parliamentary sitting in June. So logically the next one is in July. But it feels like it's so long. Like today's 24th May. There's like 6 weeks till that sitting at least.
Yeah. But that's why Lee Hsien Loong said that it will be completed expeditiously.
Expeditiously. Correct.
That means I think we should be looking forward to hearing more about it before the parliamentary sitting.
Okay.
That's what I understood from it. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean the politicians, opposition and PAP politicians have already filed some questions.
Yeah.
Right. So I can't help but feel that, okay, the PAP ministers asking questions, there's no confirmation, but to me it's like, okay, they will of course ask questions because they need to be seen to be inquiring.
Yeah. But to be fair, those questions some of the questions are legit.
Yeah.
They're literally asking what was the guide rent that was in there and everything.
Yeah, but because there's so much time, because the questions are there, it feels like, I mean, I'm curious to see how this unfolds because it feels like every day the hole is being dug deeper.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at a video of Shanmugam being interviewed, it's like a 5-minute plus video, and his main answer was that I can't talk about it now.
Yeah.
Let the allegations are outrageous and let it take like due process.
Yeah. I think to be specific, there was a video that I saw on Facebook, I think one of the news outlets, about 3.5 minutes in, like, I think they start to really dig into more specifics about like who was the senior cabinet colleague that you talked to about this issue. And I would say for the first time, I see Shanmugam, slightly, like almost like ruffled a little bit. Even by his standards, ruffled is much less ruffled than everyone else. But even then, it's almost like, I don't think I can comment because there's a review going on. Which, it is. That's where, given his background as a lawyer and asking people to just answer the question yes or no, that's what he does in Parliament. That's his trademark, right, in Parliament. Sounded a little bit, evasive in some ways,
Yeah, you can't watch it and like, I mean, of course, when you look at the comments on PM Lee's post, a lot of people are like, "Thank you, sir," thank you, trustworthy and accountable ministers to initiate the protocol to review, and basically just having the ministers themselves asking for an investigation on themselves, not only show that our leaders adopt high standards, but also show. So I don't know, man. Like the more this unfolds, and also I think you mentioned before is that there are some comparisons being made with the Titi Durai case from years ago.
Yeah. I was just doing some basic reading up of the Titi Durai case. For all those born, after, young people, basically. There was a huge scandal many years ago when the National Kidney Foundation, I think the CEO was, there was a leak somewhere that he had installed golden taps in his private toilet in the National Kidney Foundation building. And basically, that was one of the big things there. And then subsequently also when I think the wife of the former PM, Goh Chok Tong, Mrs. Goh Chok Tong, came forward to defend him in some way, saying that whatever he earned, his salary earned was peanuts, which was $600,000. That riled up a lot of people, and there were a lot of repercussions. Politically, he lost his job at NKF. I think the board at NKF, a lot of changes in the board. So it was a small thing that became a very big thing. I don't know how much you remember of that case.
No, I remember. I remember because it was one of those things that, um, that whole notion that just because you work in a charity, just because you work in a non-profit, do you deserve to be paid well, lah? Or is like altruism the thing that should lead you all the way? I don't agree with that. But then also when you look at the gold tabs and one thing about him flying first class on a business class entitlement, it just again the optics.
Yeah, I think the specific thing was that I think he also, there was basically a budget to fly business class for his business trips, but he used the loophole of he could get first class tickets at the business class prices, and he used that to fly first class for some of his trips. So that also came out in court. And actually, the interesting thing about the case that I completely forgot was that there was a bit of he shot himself in the foot a little bit, TT Durai, in the sense that he actually was suing SPH.
Oh yeah,
for publishing about some of these things and suing for, I think, defamation or something. And it was in that court case where all these details were drilled out of him. And that's where public opinion completely turned against him and what the NKF management was doing. So that's why, going back to what I had said earlier about a quote, that the most quotable quote of all the people I spoke to this week, it's a small nothing gag that feels like it could happen, it become a big nothing.
So when you say big nothing, you mean by the end, like, let's say in July, they're like, okay, these are the things we did. We follow the steps. There's absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Then everyone's like, oh, okay, sorry.
No, yeah. So process everything, nothing wrong. I followed the steps, all that. But at the end of the day, like, it's the same reason why people asked to TT Durai, why do you need to fly first class? Why do you need to install golden taps in your kitchen? And the answers to that are they're not black and white, right? They're a bit more gray area. And like what you said, it's a very big debate about whether charities, how charities use the money and how they pay the management, right? So in this Ridout case, it's a big question, I think, going through people's minds that probably can't even be covered in the ministerial review or the committee review of this whole thing is, why do you need to stay in such a huge colonial bungalow?
But then, right, on that note, right, like reading, not say I agree with Kelvin Cheng's post, but also the thought, which some people that I spoke to also they brought up, was like, these bungalows, there are a lot of people who don't want to live there, right? If you've ever been in a black and white house, it's sometimes there are problems with the piping and the ventilation is not the best, might have a smell.
And you're not allowed to do a lot of restoration works because it is a conserved building, right? In some ways.
Yeah. And then, like, if the rental, I know some people are comparing it to the private GCBs, but the rental for black and white properties, from my understanding and from certain people I know who have stayed in black and white properties, is always lower than the equivalent for private. So if that's the case, right, what really is wrong if they stay at these black and white houses? If they are not, let's say it's really due process, everything followed and all, like, there's really no issue.
Yeah.
Why are people, like, why do you feel, or what have you heard from people who still feel like that's not right? As a politician, you cannot stay in this kind of house.
Correct. I think it boils down to the economy or the economic situation we're in right now. Housing prices, rental prices, COE prices. Everyone's feeling the pinch, right? Prices going up for everybody. Young people can't get their BTOs or can't get their HDBs, or can't even rent a room without paying through the nose for it, right? And that's where the topic of where do your leaders stay, it becomes something pertinent in people's minds, because they ask, can you really relate to the issues that we're facing? Are you really, you say that you hear people, but are your boots on the ground? Are you understanding the struggles that the average person faces and all that? And that, it's, you're not, I mean, I think our ministers and our civil servants, they do their work, right? They do their work. They're on the ground. They have boots on the ground. They're talking to people and understanding the issues. But that's when people say, oh, but okay, that's what you do for your work. But outside your work, if there's a feeling that you're so removed from the realities of a normal person, right?
Mm.
If you're so removed where, like, I can't get my house, everything, but on the flip side, I see my leaders staying in 200,000 square foot houses, right? Where the garden is probably multiple times the size of whatever flat that I want to stay in. There's this disconnect. There's a disconnect between them talking about, we are monitoring the situation, we feel your pain, and then the conditions that they're actually living in.
But do you think it would be different if, let's say, one of them was staying in a penthouse where the rent was like fucking 60,000?
I think it'll be different. Yeah, it'll be different.
Because like penthouse, HDB, both need to take leave and all that.
Yeah. In some ways, you still need to live around people. You're not isolated in a fucking like 4 football field size place. Whereas this one really feels like a colonial era, a relic of the colonial era when the colonial masters would stay on a ranch or, a little middle of a plantation when everyone around them, works to tend to the gardens and all that. So I feel there is a difference, when, okay, fine, you stay in private housing, you stay in a landed property, whatever, you stay in a bungalow, you stay in a GCB, but at least you're still, the moment you step out of your house, you're on the public road already and everything.
So even if like inside Shanmugam's house is a fucking mess, pipes leaking, got like algae growing everywhere, and all that and he sleeps just sweating the whole night because ventilation sucks.
Yeah,
that still like would be too different a world.
No, so that's where I do. Although we joke about the property Lim Brothers thing, right?
Oh, you think they should
I think the best way for him to just get before the shower now. Hey, welcome to my home in 26 Ridout Road. I'm Mr. Shanmugam and let me show you around.
Property, oh my God.
He needs to do like MTV Crib style, like
him and Vivian,
showing them what the home is like and this, you see this car park porch, I paid for it myself, and I have to tear it down when it's done. So I'm not even kidding where it's the literally like just walking people through these properties that they might never ever step foot in.
Maybe Shanmugam say, every time I get off of my car, there's so many mosquitoes here. I get 29 bites from the time I walk here to my house.
Yeah.
I go in, then I slip on some algae.
I got dengue fever when I walk to my gate.
Yeah, that's why. Like every day, like I still like the fans don't work. The
wild
piping.
ball.
My morning run is running away from wild ball. Yeah, that's why.
I was on the eastern wing of the estate, and there was a wild ball there.
Yeah, that's why. So I ran to the western side.
And the guardhouse was in the north, so it took him 15 minutes to walk over.
Yeah, I think like whenever I hear people say, oh, but whatever they do in their private time shouldn't matter, and to a certain extent it's true, but there's just something so ridiculous about the house that he lives in. It's almost like a James Bond villain, no?
Yeah,
it's like during the day, like I know Kelvin Cheng and some other people are saying Shanmugam has been like the tough guy. He's like the villain, but he's not afraid to make hard stances and hard decisions, and he's not the most well-liked, but he still does it. So what is wrong if he does this? But it just feels like it's so ridiculous. The house they live in is almost like a fairy tale. There's one thing. So the optics of it, I think a lot of it is optics.
Yeah.
I think for me, the simplest thing, it just looks like what the hell is going on there, particularly because of the land.
Yeah.
I think a lot of discussions recently in Parliament is about the land value.
Yeah.
The land size, and how, like even the thing about how to bring up a family in like HDB flats that are getting smaller and smaller. And then this one. It's probably one of the biggest GCBs in Singapore, right?
It seems like the biggest
by land area.
Yeah, by land area.
So that's why I think Shanmugam is going to be the more crosshairs on him than Vivian Balakrishnan, because first of all, SLA is under his ministry. Vivian Balakrishnan is just in his tinier house, much more humble house. But it just feels like, and because the optics and all are shit, it just leads people to question. Like I saw people pulling up like apparently like SLA agreements with contractors to build the car park terrace and all, right?
Yeah.
So the moment you activate people at their core, right, and they go down this digging, right? How like that? How are they going to get out of this?
So that's an interesting thing also. How much of this has been digging being done by enemies of PAP ministers, as opposed to I think someone who knows about these things coming forward with all this information. Because it does seem like, wow, how did these people dig up all this?
It's not tinfoil hat territory already,
I mean,
man.
it's just, I'm just wondering what's the source Kenneth Jaranam got this from and all that. I think that's, actually, to me, that's a very interesting thing about it, right? Like who is pulling this out and how did they get it and why now, now when a lot of things have happened, the housing prices and everything as well.
So that also is another reason why this could be very damaging for PAP. Because in some way, I've also heard the chatter that maybe, we've heard so much of like 3G, 4G, 5G ministers. Now it's almost the turn of the guard, right? And yeah, like people will speculate, like, oh shit, was this an internal thing? Who knows? Who knows? No one knows.
All speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation. But the fact that people are thinking about this, it's not good lah.
Yeah, but so that's, I think it's good that Lee Hsien Loong, I mean, bless his soul, I mean, he shouldn't be working while he's sick, right? But I think he needed to come forward and say something, whether it's order this review or whatever. There needed to be a step taken by him. And not saying that we agree with everything that was, whether it's an independent review and everything. Yeah. But at least, okay, it's not just, we're not just sitting around waiting till July for, answers to parliamentary questions. Because I think the interest in this issue extends way beyond Parliament already. Right?
So so your take is that it'll definitely be done before July, the Parliament session?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. Has to. Like even these doorstep interviews, like we have a lot of people like sending them to us and like, oh, wow, watch this interview. He's so nervous and stuff like that, right?
I don't know how the Ridout now might be, man. I'm sure got some people who are just gonna, I don't know, just go there and take a look or something.
Yeah.
I know last time for Christmas celebrations, there are a few houses along Nassim Road which become very famous for the lights, right? Can you imagine like Shanmugam and Vivian, they just put like LED or like just show you the finger like, go away! That kind of thing.
I thought you'd be more like, from now on, every year they are going to have like Halloween, Christmas celebrations at Ridout. Christmas at Ridout, that kind of thing.
Christmas
hey, open house, everybody come and enjoy like Christmas at 26 or 31.
Yeah, or Halloween at Ridout, trick or treat. You ring the bell, then after 30 minutes, Shanmugam finally reaches the gate. He's like, oh, want some candy, guys?
Yeah.
Walao,
But actually, what do you, just going back to what Kelvin Cheng was saying about the doxing and harassment that these ministers are facing. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, like even when we first did it, I was thinking like, oh, should we say the address and all? But I mean, it's so public info. It's not like doxing to me is like, if it's not available publicly, then you release it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about the situation now, because regardless of what side you're on, the fact that in Parliament we cannot get away from discussing houses, right?
Yeah.
Like individual houses, not just the housing landscape, not the housing market,
houses. Yeah.
It just feels like, is this the best thing to be discussing?
Yeah.
And I mean, the harassment, I hope Vivian and Sean are not getting like death threats and all that.
Their families,
Yeah, their families and all that. That's sad, That's sad if their families are implicated, which I can't imagine them not being implicated because it's their home,
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine someone in your family is a politician. It's still outside your day-to-day family life.
Correct.
But then now, like...
But actually, you know what's the other thing that I did think about this morning? Remember your favorite movie, Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes.
Yeah, your favorite movie.
Love that, man. Love that.
Remember the house of that family was, they said it was in Singapore, but actually it was shot in Malaysia, right? I was just thinking, do you mean they weren't offered like Ridout Road to film in? Because it's such a huge property, such a huge estate. If they wanted to like make a Crazy Rich Asians out of that house, I think they could have, right? So like, why couldn't that house have been like the site of the Crazy Rich Asians? Oh, so you're thinking
that house is reserved?
No, not saying that. I don't, because the timeline, I don't know, I can't remember when Crazy Rich Asians was filmed. Does it film before or after, this Shanmugam and Vivian Balakrishnan started their leases there? But, I at first I thought, it's because they didn't film here because Singapore has no such huge, giant colonial bungalow properties kind of thing. I never knew of the existence of this Ridout Road properties. But now that we've looked at it, we've seen the maps, we've seen how big they are. I'm like, this could have easily been the Crazy Rich Asians house in the movie. And the rent would have been cheap, right? The rent is much lower than a lot of places. So we're spending, our STB is spending $10 million to get people to film and all that. But then when they wanted to film a house here, they had to go to Malaysia to film it. So they could have filmed it here in Ridout Road, Yeah. But that I guess that would have also put a spotlight on that particular property a lot, right?
I tell you,
which is what we want. Do we want that?
under that whole mound, there's some like underground base, like a Batman lair, where they are planning something. Confirm, the whole house is going to open up and something's going to come out.
A Batmobile or something.
Like a Singapore
Shanmobile.
space. Shanmobile.
He's like the
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Shan and Vivian.
Shan and Vivian. They come out in their their car, and then they're like bam, ching, bam,
Fighting
smack.
crime.
Yeah, fighting crime.
Yeah, that's why the streets of Singapore have never been
This
safer.
feels like a movie in and of itself, no? Just the thought of filming at a GCB would be so awesome.
Yeah.
It's such an insane place. I think yeah, if it was a smaller GCB, I really think it wouldn't be an issue. The fact that it's so ridiculously large, because honestly, no one's really putting that much visual emphasis on Vivian's property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they are both ginormous.
Yeah.
But one is more ginormous than the other. So then it's just a case of optics, lah. It's just shit optics. And this is going to be fiery because there's an ability to hurt a lot of the... Oh, actually, I don't know. You think it would hurt the standing of PAP for the general population? Because a lot of people don't seem to care.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why I said it's a small nothing that could spiral into a bigger nothing. In the sense that, it's the fact that everyone is starting to care. Everyone is starting to question, hey, if the two of them are staying in this place, how about all the other... Are there any other properties like this that are... are housing
all the ministers also, maybe other ministers who are living in big houses, they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I mean, we think a little bit about what the Tin Pei Ling grab situation back then already, right? I think it's very different situations because Tin Pei Ling's standing within the government versus Shanmugam standing within the government, or even Vivian Balakrishnan for that matter. Very different, right? So, I mean, your question about will it hurt the PAP and all, I think there's more at stake, for sure. Because it's two of the big shots within the party, right? Like you said, the optics of it are questionable, and that's why I said, rather than wait for independent review or parliament and all that, open house, man, open house.
Open house.
Just open the house and let people see what's in there, and as much as. I understand about doxing privacy or that, but sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire, lah. People keep sharing information, and you gotta share more information to shut them up, lah.
That would be epic, man.
Yeah.
Shanmugam just says, guys, you see for yourself. You see for yourself.
Do you think it could be an angle where it's like this property was not occupied for so long, it's dilapidated and everything. I took it upon myself to move in and clean it up and restore it to its former glory.
Because the whole it's probably protected, right? A lot of these black and white houses can't be destroyed or anything. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Suddenly he was like, just like how I have cleaned up Singapore. This is my second Singapore.
Yeah.
To clean it up, make it really preserve the heritage, build a museum inside, lah.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be kind of crazy, yeah.
Crazy,
that
man.
Angle.
Crazy.
So, speaking of excess, we've been talking a lot about excess so far. Someone has always also been trying to get something extra for himself at IKEA, and that has caused a little bit of heat on him or herself, right?
Yeah.
And what is this issue, and who is this person?
I believe it's herself.
No, him.
Him. Oh,
him with his daughter, I believe. Yeah.
Him with his daughter. Oh, okay, yeah. So the TikTok influencer Jason Su has sparked a debate online.
Yeah.
A lot of debates about seemingly pointless shit going around. But basically, he tried an IKEA ice cream hack with his daughter, where they have this 50-cent ice cream. So apparently, by holding up the cone a certain way and preventing the machine from detecting the weight of the ice cream that has been dispensed, you can get more ice cream.
Correct. Yeah.
So at the time of writing, the video had already had 150,000+ views. But it was polarizing because some people were saying, isn't it stealing? Aren't you stealing? You are going above the limit, the recommended amount of like ice cream. But other people are like, oh, it's a hack. They're not doing anything illegal. So
sounds familiar.
Going from one topic where it was, like the national level, this one, where does it sit in terms of for you?
It's an international scandal because I mean, there's IKEA. The amazing thing about IKEA is that they're so consistently branded all over the world. Every IKEA you go, you'll find an ice cream and that kind of like ice cream dispenser.
But no curry puff
No curry puff and none of the local flavors and stuff But the experience is very, very similar around the world which I've been to a few IKEAs around in different parts of the world, and it is eerily similar. Like you just close your eyes or just don't listen to the language being spoken, and you could feel like, hey, this is like what Singapore is like. IKEA in Singapore is like.
Yeah.
But yes, that's why I think it's not as small a deal as we want to say. It's just a person stealing ice cream in Singapore. Yeah.
But do you think it's wrong that she was doing that? That he was doing that?
Well, I mean, let's say you went to your local ice cream shop, right? And then you ordered an ice cream, sea salt caramel, whatever, sea salt gula melaka caramel from Crimea or one of these places. And then the person takes out the scoop and starts scooping out ice cream. Then you reach in and you grab the person's hand, and then you make them like scoop a few more times to get more ice cream onto your cone, right?
It's a hack, It's a hack.
Is that? Would you be okay with that? Would that be considered a hack, or what would people say? Because ultimately, they are trained. The people who serve you are trained to scoop a certain amount of ice cream. Sometimes even they even have weighing scales that go down to the exact weight of how much ice cream they give you, right? So if you hack that by whether changing the weighing scale or just grabbing the hand and making them scoop more,
Yeah.
Do you think that would fly?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the answer to that is no. I'm just thinking, why is it no? Is it because it's a human?
So that's interesting, right? Because now that they use a robot, they use a mechanical arm or whatever to weigh it. Does that make it a different thing?
So is this if you saw like, you have a child now, if you saw a parent doing this at IKEA, would you be like, look at that guy? Look, what is that guy doing? It is wrong.
Yeah, I think, I would have to explain to my kid or what, who sees it, that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to tamper with the machine before it dispenses the ice cream. Because I think on top of just like taking more ice cream from the machine, it also left a bit of a mess, right? And that's what some people complain about the video, is that, because of what you've done, there's an overflow of ice cream that has flown onto the handle that will get onto the next ice cream that's served to the next unsuspecting customer and all, which becomes, a bit unhygienic, right? So there's an element of it's also kind of inconsiderate behavior that way. Of course, maybe he cleaned up after that. I don't think he did. But that's why I think there's a very fine line between life hack and just stealing, right?
But then, like, let's say if you go to McDonald's and the chili sauce there, you take more chili sauce. What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with that, right?
I mean, it's your entitlement. You eat more chili sauce, you take more chili sauce, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get more fries. The stuff that you actually have to order and pay for.
For the chili sauce.
You can't like they scoop your fries, then you go in and then you take the scoop yourself and scoop more fries for yourself, right? Yeah. So I think that's the thing, that there is a set quantity that you buy every time you transact for the ice cream, right? And IKEA in Smart Nation fashion has tried to automate the process a bit.
And they got trust, They trust.
It's a trust. It's actually, it's kind of like free soda, free refills, right?
Yeah.
When you go to a buffet restaurant or whatever, they tell you there's sometimes they limit there's one free refill of your drink and things like that, right? Some places I've been, and it's an honor system, in some sense. It's up to you to honor it and all that. And there's hopefully not everyone abuses the system. That's what the whole system is predicated on. It's an honor system, right?
Okay, yeah. So one thing I think to note is, if you haven't seen the video, right, the way the machine works is you put in 50 cents. You put a cone into this little arm.
Yeah.
The arm goes up, the machine starts dispensing ice cream.
Yeah.
And then once it's done dispensing, you pick it up.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a hands-free thing.
Yeah.
Initially, before I saw the video, I thought you literally hold up the cone. So what's wrong if you just hold it up, or you don't let the weight affect you too much in terms of the position? But this one, if you watch the video, it does feel like, hey, why you are interfering?
Modifying,
You are interfering.
Yeah. Which kind of made me realize, those orange juice machines that you see around now.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of that now because I buy that for my family and everything. And the machine is like everything happens behind closed doors. Like everything's sealed up. Even that the window to take the drink, right? They've sealed it until everything is done. Then it opens for a brief moment. Then you can take it out, and after that it's sealed again. Like they don't allow you to tamper with anything inside the machine. And maybe that's the thing that IKEA needs to look into, in the sense that, when you let the machinery be out there and people can tamper with it, that's when the honor system is not very reliable, and that people start abusing that grey line that the honor system presents, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, apparently this hack has been going around since 2020, and it's got like 29 million views, apparently.
Yeah.
Because like what you said, is repeatable throughout the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, okay, there's probably a lot of shit like this people are doing all around the world with so many different things. But the fact that he recorded it on TikTok, almost like a flex, right? That's what I don't understand.
Or calling it a hack, basically. I think.
So what's a hack to you then?
A hack is something that you do that doesn't go near the it makes your life easier and doesn't go near the line of legality, right? Where people can question if what you're doing is legal or not,
Is there a recent hack that you discovered?
There are a lot of Instagram hacks and everything.
One hack I discovered is if you have what's a group of bananas called?
Bunch of bananas.
Is that the official term?
A bunch, yeah.
A bunch of bananas?
Yeah, a bunch of bananas. Tristen, is it a bunch of bananas?
Is that the term? Like, a school of fish. Is it a bunch of bananas?
Okay. I feel like that's a question that we can put out to the world.
Yeah, that's right.
But I will call it a bunch.
So a bunch of bananas. Like one issue I was having at home is always like when you leave it out, it'll turn black.
Correct, yes.
Then you try and hang it, it'll turn black.
Yeah.
Then you put it on a table, wherever it touches the table, it turns black. So I saw this one video where if you overturn it into just so that the top of the bunch is soaked in water, right, it lasts a lot longer.
Oh, okay.
And it did last week. And like fucking 5 days, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't turn black. Of course, the water gets seeped up, so the lower part of the banana becomes like very wet. But it works, and so that is a hack.
Yeah, that's a hack.
That is a hack.
Nobody was hurt doing that hack, right?
Nobody.
Yeah. No legality
no
issues.
legality issue. No rules against bunches of bananas being turned upside down.
Yeah.
But this IKEA thing, it doesn't feel like a hack.
Yeah, I think it's a bit different. And I guess because the open concept of IKEA, every time you go IKEA, it feels like a giant play area, right?
Yeah.
And maybe in that sense, it makes people think that, what can I do at IKEA that is, a bit of fun and a bit of a hack and a bit different. So, yeah, that's where it's like, it's not a hack. It's I think it's more of abusing an honor system that is set there in place as a benefit to customers. So, for example, IKEA's free parking, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
You go to the Alexandra branch. It's basically an honor system where when you're paying for your things, then you just go to one of their staff and she will have car park coupons.
Also, it's not automatically
It's
free.
not automatically free, yeah. So you have to ask for it. But because I think that process of asking, then they can, do you buy anything? They can kind of see straight away, right? So in some sense, it's also an honor system, right? You just have to just say, okay, I did buy my things. You look at me, I'm carrying my things. I need a car park coupon.
Probably because people were exploiting it.
Yeah.
Right. Like in Tampines, I don't think people will exploit the free parking.
In fact, now that you bring it up, back then the car park coupons just used to sit on the counter and you could just pick them yourself.
Yeah.
But now I've realized in the last couple of years, they've gone to it's actually with a member of staff who has to monitor it. So that's very unsmart nation, but it is what it is, right? Because people probably have abused their honor system.
Yeah. But isn't it so clear? Should it be clear to people that these kind of things are wrong? I mean, where could one learn that you can get away with this kind of shit? Where, Terrence?
that's where education and school and everything, right?
Education and school, and
yeah.
having leaders who are also very
Above board.
transparent. Yeah,
Above board.
below board. They must be below board, right?
Only below board.
As in, they are
above
not
board.
above board lah.
It has to be above board lah.
Why above board?
That means it's transparent lah. Everything's above board.
Oh,
That's the saying. Yeah.
I thought above the board means you're like above the rules.
No. No. Above board means that you are legitimate, honest, and open, as by the Oxford Language Dictionary.
Then below the board, because it's under table lah.
Under table.
So under table, above board.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is it not the same thing?
Nobody says below board lah, so to speak. Yeah.
And no one says,
okay, board, because I guess back then when you were on a ship or something, all aboard, and then above board you can see what's on the ship. Below board you cannot see.
Then why can't it be above table?
Above table.
Go under table, right?
Under table is because you are seated together at a table and I hand you something under the table. So there needs to be a transaction there for that term to be used lah. Under table, you know. But when you are above board means you put everything on the board of your on the deck of your ship, you know.
I don't know whether it's because of the ship lah.
I'm guessing.
No, but in the spirit of correcting each other, I also have to clarify that when you buy those bananas at NTUC, it's a hand of bananas.
A hand of bananas.
A bunch of bananas is multiple hands coming together. So apparently a bunch of bananas may contain 3 to 20 hands. So if you go to NTUC, just ask for a hand of bananas.
Wait, so is it a bunch? Oh, a bunch of bananas is called a hand. A single banana is referred to as a finger.
You just Googled it?
Yeah.
I thought you were Googling above the board.
No, I already Googled above board already.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. What a bunch of bananas.
Yeah, it's a finger. Yeah, correct.
Wow, I never knew that.
It's a finger, hand, and a bunch.
A banana is a finger. Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, even though banana and finger in the same sentence sounds a bit
Sounds
like
wrong. Yeah.
Sounds wrong. Yeah. Could you pass me a finger of your banana's hand?
Can you pass me? Yeah, can I have a finger, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
cool.
yes,
yeah,
that's let us know what you think about that hack, right? Whether it's whether you think it's really a hack or is it something you shouldn't be teaching our kids in school about,
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. But yes.
Cool, man. Cool.
But there's always something positive to talk about. And what is your one Shiok comment?
Would you like to go first?
I need to pull it up. As you can tell, we are literally on the fly. Sometimes we do pull up these things.
Yeah.
And it does take a while. But yes, what is your one Shiok comment? I was trying to stall for you as long as possible already.
Nice.
You see, when we did this remotely,
it was easy.
We could hide. We could hide. You know, it was but now everything's above board. Literally everything. Our laptops, everything is above the table.
Yeah.
I can't go under the table. Hey, one Shiok comment. I kick Harish on that, but no, cannot. So yes.
Exactly. Okay. So. Okay, wait.
Yeah. Still looking.
Still looking.
No, okay. I can go first. Yeah. On our YouTube, actually, partially why we are you're really going all out on YouTube now, as in putting the entire visual Yalabat experience on YouTube. It's because there are people asking for it. And I don't want to toot our own horn, but this is literally and someone commenting. Ankira Japan. No, sorry, not Ankira Japan. It's actually someone who said Valia was commenting on our Prince Harry attends King's coronations at chickens at the National Gallery. The comment was from Valia. Yes, please do more visual podcasts. I'm sure your other listeners would enjoy them too. So I think that was in response to us asking, hey, do people want to watch us, doing this podcast and reacting to each other and stalling for time when we cannot find our one Shiok comment or one Shiok thing immediately. So positive affirmation there. Yeah. So that's why we're doing this, because it is something that people are asking for. Yeah. Okay. Now.
Okay. Yes, I found mine. So it was a comment from Internet Lurker 96 on our podcast 397. Where we talked about the Blackpink concert
okay.
Internet Lurker 96 mentioned that they were a Virgin concert goer prior to end February, and then they talked about like navigating what to do. Should you just take the videos, record, or just sit back and enjoy? They tried to balance both. And then also shared their experience of going for a concert for Sasha Sloan, a relatively popular US indie pop artist. And they basically said that they do see value in like becoming fans of smaller artists, so you can get like tickets and just more intimate experiences.
Yeah.
So Sasha Sloan was the recommendation. I haven't checked her out yet, but I will. I
Yeah.
will. So cheers to that, Internet Lurker 96.
Cool.
Man. All right.
Yes.
And the one Shiok thing. This one I got already. If you need time, I can go first.
You can go first, yeah.
Okay. So over the weekend, I watched the movie Air, on Prime, not in cinemas, with my wife and two other friends. And if you haven't heard, it's the movie tracing the journey of how the shoe Air Jordan came to be. It was at a time when Nike had the lowest market share amongst Adidas and Converse for basketball shoes. The whole basketball division was on the cusp of being closed down. But it follows the guy, his name is Sunny. I think he was a basketball expert brought into the Nike to kind of recruit players to be like ambassadors.
Okay.
And it was, I loved it because it was very focused on that story. It wasn't like full of special effects or anything. The storyline, you can even say, is quite simple. It's not fictional. It's based on true events. And the acting was damn good. There was Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, Jason Bateman, Chris Tucker. And it actually made me feel like, hey, fuck, I can feel the desire to make movies again. Which of late, admittedly, I'm like, oh, do I want to make a movie at some point? But yes, this is a good story. No like crazy visual effects and all, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's quite nostalgic also because it's set in the 80s. So they brought back like clips of actual Michael Jordan and like the music and all that. And I highly recommend it as a movie.
But no Michael Jordan in the movie.
Yeah, no Michael. They just have him as like a side character, as the son, because apparently a lot of the negotiations between getting him to agree to Air Jordans was with his mom.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, played by Viola Davis,
Interesting.
who is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Mine's a bit more highbrow kind of content compared to movies like that.
Fuck you lah, Terrence.
It's this YouTube channel.
Air is a good movie, okay?
Harish,
I know you have your issues with Phil Knight's biography and all that.
Harish,
It's a good movie.
you know the difference between doing remotely and doing in person is that there you should be able to read sarcasm in the room. Sometimes there's sarcasm, and if you pay attention to what people are saying in the room as opposed to your own thoughts.
So what did you just say, Terrence?
I said that this is a very highbrow thing, but it's a YouTube channel called Kong Tao Help Desk, which is actually is the opposite of highbrow, right?
I see. Okay,
Humor, comedy,
okay.
right?
Okay.
So yes, this is a channel called Kong Tao Help Desk by a Singaporean who's, to say the least, very interested in Thai culture. So some of the videos are, is really about, I don't know if you know the context of this Kong Tao. Basically, is those Singapore guys who go to Thai discos and they basically fall in love with the singers and dancers at Thai discos. And they end up, buying tiaohua, buying a lot of those flowers and hanging them on and spending a lot of money on these singers and dancers, right? In the hopes that the love will be reciprocated. Yeah. But it often isn't, and those people are labeled Kong Taos. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a channel about, Kong Tao Help Desk, but it covers like what Singaporean that those types of Singaporean men will be interested about in Thai culture, which are like tricking girls to do naughty reviews on Valentine's Day. So featuring Thai ladies in Singapore, and all the thumbnails always feature a couple of Thai ladies. Learn Thai with Kong Tao Help Desk.
How you spell Kong Tao?
GONGTAO. Yeah. So Thai proficiency test at Golden Mile, testing random people's Thai skills at Golden Mile Complex, scavenger hunt at Golden Mile Supermarket. Yeah, so traveling to Bangkok via land like a loser. So things like that, basically covering that lifestyle of if you're a Singaporean man in love with a Thai person, a Thai lady. Yeah. So it's, right now, I think we've got like almost 10,000 subscribers, but the surprising thing, a lot of varied types of content from them. So it's not.
What the fuck?
It's a what the fuck kind of thing when you see it. And they're quite
and how
serious
you come
about
across
it.
this, Terrence?
I don't know, man. The algorithm just feeds me this shit. Yeah.
Shit, it's a Singapore channel.
Singapore channel, yeah. And they've got animation, they've got like travel logs and stuff like that. They've got, those kind of like on the street interviews with people at Golden Mile Complex. So it's a lot of effort put into this channel.
Wow.
Yeah. So quite interesting. So do check them out just for a laugh and maybe to learn a little bit of Thai. Yeah.
Wow, nice. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Our first big experiment.
Our first big experiment is
yeah.
episode 399.
Yeah.
The 400th episode is coming up in store.
Yeah.
And we will continue to do this video podcast.
Yeah.
So check us out, man.